Hello everyone, so today I'm going to explain chapter 3 of my novel, but before that, let's quickly recall what happened in the previous chapter. The story had taken us 2 years back to the time when Simon had just entered the college in his first semester. It was then that he met someone, a guy who was in the fourth semester for so long time. The two of them only exchanged silent glances. They never spoke to each other, not even once. They didn't know each other's name yet. They only kept stealing quiet looks at the one another's across the classroom. Months passed like that, with neither of them making a move to speak. But one day during a class, Senior J comes and sits on the bench right in front of Simon, and that's where the chapter 3 begins. In the chapter 3, Simon was really stunned to see J in front of him. He was too shocked. He couldn't even say anything. He blinked a few times, even pinched himself discreetly, trying to confirm that this wasn't a dream. For Simon, this was the best day of his life. The senior sat ahead, casually chatting with his friends, unaware of the boy behind him who watched him as if he was a masterpiece. Simon was quiet as ever and seated alone, didn't know what to do to himself. His fingers trembled slightly as he discreetly took out his phone and snapped a quick photo of the senior. The photo didn't capture his face, just a blur of his presence, but it was enough for Simon. He knew it was wrong, he knew he should have asked. But everything is fair in love and war, specifically this kind of silent and unseen love. The lecture came to an end, and so did the class. As usual, the two of them never exchanged a word. But from that day onwards, Simon began waiting for Mondays like a child awaits for a Christmas. Monday was the only day of the week when combined classes happens, and they were held when junior and senior sat together. And after a whole week of anticipation, Monday finally arrived. This time Simon came early. He sat in the same seat as the last time, silently hoping for the lightning to strike twice, and of course it did. The senior once again walked straight in and sat in the exact same seat in front of Simon, just as he had the week before. As the class began, the teacher asked the student to sign a attendance sheet. When Simon got the paper, a silly idea struck him. He flipped the page backwards, glancing over the earlier signatures, and there it was, the name of the senior. After a year and a half of the silent longing, Simon finally learned the name of his first love. It was J. The name felt like music in his mind. He repeated it to himself, savoring the each syllable. J, senior J. Once class ended, students began leaving in groups. Some had already formed study circle that included both seniors and juniors. Simon, however, hadn't joined any. Just then his phone buzzed. His friends were calling, urging him to join their study group. They told him that a few seniors from sixth semester were also the part of it, and now was a good time to build connections. One of them questioned, "By the way, Simon, has any of the seniors near you has given you the offer to join their group yet?" Simon's eyes, still lingering on Jay's back, replied softly, "No, no one yet." Suddenly, one of the girls on the call, a senior who happened to know Simon, jumped into the conversation and said, "Who's around you right now? Do you know any seniors right in front of you?" Simon froze. His heart raced. How was he supposed to tell her that the J was sitting just in front of him? Gathering every ounce of courage he had, he raised his voice slightly and said, "Senior J is sitting right in front of me." And just like that, J turned around, as if startled, as if his name had pulled him back from another world. Simon did not know what just happened, but then Jay did something he had never expected. He looked Simon in the eyes and smiled. "Hey," he said casually, like it was the most natural thing, as if they known each other for a long time. And it was the first time they ever spoken, but something about it felt like a continuation, not a beginning. A week passed, another Monday arrived, but this time Senior J didn't show up for the combined class. He didn't attend the following week classes either. The absence made Simon restless. He tried asking a few seniors from the sixth semester about Jay, but no one gave him an answer. Then, after many days, Simon caught sight of Jay again on campus, but this time something was different. Jay didn't avoid his gaze. Instead, he smiled and greeted with a gentle good morning. That small gesture sent Simon soaring into joy. It was as if his happiness had suddenly touched the sky. Jay said, "Where are you headed?" Simon replied, "To my classes." "Let's go together then," Jay said casually. "I need to speak with your teacher anyway." They walked side by side, chatting lightly until they reached the classroom. As Simon stepped forward to enter, he looked back and asked, "Aren't you coming in?" Jay hesitated and said, "You go ahead. I'll join you in a while." "But didn't you say you had something important to discuss with my teacher?" Simon asked, confused. Jay paused, caught off guard. His expression betrayed him like a thief caught red handed. Without a word, he offered Simon a small smile. That smile felt like Jay was saying, "I came just to see you, dummy." But it was just Simon's assumption. And then Simon entered the class with a quiet joy in his heart. Days passed again. Then one scorching afternoon, after classes, as Simon walked home beneath the harsh sun, a car suddenly pulled up beside him. It was Jay. He didn't say much, just, "Come on, get in." Without asking a single question, Simon slipped into the seat. The ride was silent. Somehow, whenever they were alone, words always seemed to vanish between. Simon stood there watching him disappear into the distance until a voice echoed in his ears. "Simon, wake up quickly, Simon, wake up, teacher is coming." Simon jolted awake, startled, realizing he was back in the class. It had all been a dream. Jay and the car, the ride, it was nothing but just a dream. That was how deeply Jay had begun to affect Simon. He had started to live in his dreams. More days passed. Simon was now in third semester while Jay had just finished his final exams in the sixth semester. Their time together was slipping away, and it was 6 months before Simon's birthday, before the night of confession. The whole class was busy preparing for the graduation ceremony of the seniors. It was the last celebration before graduation. Everyone, student and teachers alike, was putting their heart into making the event special. That's when Bella, Simon's online best friend and his forever life savior, gave him a bold idea. "You should confess to him on the day of graduation ceremony. It might be your last chance." And Bella's suggestion seemed to be true right now. It was literally the last time for Simon and Jay. Simon was nervous but agreed. He prepared himself with all his heart, determined to finally confess his feelings. And then the day of graduation ceremony arrived. The hall was filled with joy. Teacher gave speeches, handed out certificates, and the seniors celebrated with the juniors. But Simon wasn't the part of the celebration. His eyes were fixed on the gate, searching, waiting for Jay. Hours passed, but Jay never came. The ceremony ended, and with it, so did the last thread connecting Simon and Jay. Jay had vanished as if swallowed by the world, and Simon, he never got a chance to say goodbye. Even as the prom danced on in full swing, with seniors and juniors dancing together, Simon stood still. His friends pulled him into the dance floor, and he smiled, masking his pain with a fake grin, with a fake smile. He danced, not for joy, but to hide his tears he had buried deep inside. Simon tried his best to hide his pain, to stay with his friends and be the part of their happiness, but the forced smile on his face never lasted long. Within moments, he found himself rushing out of the classroom, straight to the garden where no one else was around, surrounded by silent plants and flowers and leaves. Simon let his tears fall freely, whispering all his sorrows to the greenery as if they could understand. Wiping his face clean, he composed himself and began walking back towards his friends, once again trying to surpass the emotion clawing their way to the surface. Everyone else was busy taking group photos, laughing and posing, but Simon, he was lost in different world. His eyes were glued to his phone screen and to a single photograph, the first and the last picture he took of Senior J, and just like that, the memories come folding back. Simon couldn't hold back his tears, and the only thing he said, I couldn't even say goodbye to him. I wanted to confess my feelings, but he never came. And with this note, I'm going to end this chapter. So I hope, guys, you enjoy this chapter. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.